This tutorial is going to teach you how to make a podcast. We're going to download Audacity, which is a free and open source tool for editing audio. We're going to talk about grabbing audio on your microphone. Then we're going to talk about getting music off of Creative Commons licensed site like CC Mixter. And we'll also discuss how to get your edited audio onto the WordPress site to embed in a WordPress post. So to start, you can visit audacityteam.org/download to make sure you're getting to the page that offers all versions of the software. If you just go to audacityteam.org, it should also get you to the right place and you'll see a download link for your operating system. But go ahead and download Audacity now. Once you have Audacity downloaded, go ahead and open it up. The interface is fairly intuitive. We have some playback controls here. We have some levels, which are good to pay attention to. Some volume for the microphone and the output. And here we have something fairly important, which is you can change on the fly how you're listening to the audio that you have in Audacity, or how you're recording things into Audacity. So this is something you can select headphones in, for example, whereas the microphone input, you want to make sure if you have, say, a USB mic plugged in, that it's recording to that microphone. If you've plugged anything in or installed anything in with a microphone while Audacity is open, it's not going to recognize it. So if you don't see your microphone in this list, just close out of Audacity and open it back up, and you should see it there. You'll notice that I sound different because I've changed to the internal microphone on my Mac to be able to tell you a little bit about the USB microphone that I'm using. So it's a USB mic, plug it in, ready to go. This is the Yeti mic. It's made by Blue Mic. There's a knob on the front here to control any headset volume. You can mute it with this hot button there. The back has a gain control to adjust the volume at which you're recording. And then there are 4 patterns of sound that you can use to record on this microphone. So you have stereo mode, cardioid mode, omnidirectional, and bidirectional. So those are different patterns that the microphone can use to capture sound in the environment you're recording. So stereo mode is kind of good, all-purpose. It's wide, realistic sound of what's going on in the room. Cardioid mode, it looks like a heart-shaped setting on the microphone. That's for when you're speaking directly in front of something, like I'm doing right now. When I'm recording on this microphone, I use the cardioid setting when it's just me talking right into the mic, because it picks up right in front of you, but also heart-shaped, so it's kind of encompassing the three-dimensionality of your voice, but right in front of it. And then omnidirectional mode is for everything that's going on. So if you had a table of people and they were all speaking at once and you wanted to capture all that audio, you could put it on omnidirectional mode and plop the microphone right in the middle of the table. And then there's bidirectional mode, which is really useful when you're having an interview, because it captures what's directly in front of the microphone and what's opposite the microphone. So if 2 people position themselves on opposite side of the microphone, it's going to pick up their voices equally. So again, that's 4 patterns. If you want to take a second and review what those patterns are and what situations they're best used in, take a look at this graphic. So let's get some audio into Audacity and start to manipulate it. I'm going to make sure that the active microphone is the Yeti mic, and then I'm going to click this record button, and you can see that this is live. So what I'm saying to you right now is being recorded by Audacity. When I think I have enough audio, I'll hit the stop button, and then we'll see that I have an audio track here with some audio to play with. Now, before going any further, we should save our file. So you can either hit Command-S or up to File and Save. What you're doing is you're saving the project, and this little dialog that opens is just telling you you're saving a .aup file. You're not exporting an MP3 or a WAV file that you can then play back. So you can click OK and save it in a place that's convenient to you, but just know you're not exporting audio, you're just saving a project file to return to later. Now this next part's going to go quick, so pay attention and feel free to pause, but we're going to cover most of the basic tools that you're going to need in manipulating audio, which are, first, this zoom tool, which is going to get you closer and further away to the waveform. So if you're doing detailed work and you really need to get in close to that audio and make some precise edits, you can zoom in, and then when you want to zoom back out, you can shift, click, to get back out and have a wider view of these waveforms, which is a graphical representation of the audio and its volume over time. So here we can see in this middle area some silence, whereas when you see wider waveforms like this one, taller ones, those are louder bits of audio. So that's how to get closer and further away from the action. But then to actually select things, you're going to click on this selection tool, and you can click and drag the portions that you want to select. Let's say we see these two silent parts here. We're going to get rid of them. You can select the quiet part, hit delete, and it's gone. Select this other quiet part, delete, and it's gone. One of the other tools that is going to be helpful is fading in and out. And here we're going to use actually an effect. So if you select, say, the first second of audio and then go up to effects and fade in, then it's going to transform that waveform. You'll see it looks different, and it'll be quieter, quieter, and then get louder and louder. And then we can take a look at this, say, last second and a half. And let's say we want to have a nice fade out. Then we can go to effect and fade out, and you'll see how that transformed from a fairly loud point with some other, significant volume here to near silence as the audio fades out. So this selecting, deleting, moving things around between spaces, and fading in, fading out, getting further and closer to the action with the magnifying glass. Those are kind of your main tools for manipulating audio. Now, for a little bit more practice on, say, adjusting volume, bringing some audio from outside, let's think about music. Navigate to dig.ccmixter.org, and you're going to find a site that allows you to get Creative Commons music or audio effects for you to use. And we have here a search bar at the top, and you can search for different kinds of licenses. All licenses, which is going to include kind of your standard gamut of Creative Commons licenses, but also you can specify for free for commercial use if you were intending on selling whatever you're making. But for our purposes, we can search for all licenses because we're just using this for educational purposes. And let's put in a search term of, say, some sacred music. Let's say we were recording in a church and wanted to have some music over a voiceover, introduce some music that establishes kind of a church mood. So if I search for sacred, here I can see all kinds of results, and you'll see that this $sign is for ones that are okay for commercial use, but then you see kind of different BY and C, BY and CSA, and if you click on the actual license itself, then you'll see a very clear explanation of what that Creative Commons license allows you to do. So here, BY&C is you're free to share and adapt this music, so you can put it anywhere you want, in any medium or any format, and you can manipulate it in any kind of way, as long as you attribute, which means giving appropriate credit, saying who it's by, including that link in whatever page that or recording that is used in, and you can't sell it. So here we see that this is a non-commercial license. But if you want to sample any of these clips or music, you can click on the play button and you can start to listen to what you're looking for. And if we find one that is appealing, I know I was looking at this piece of music. Then you can also get a sense, if you kind of sample something and you like it, but it's not quite what you're looking for, you can also see these tags, and they're going to give you, that user's impression of how they wanted to tag that piece of media. But then you can shop around, say, it's not quite what I'm looking for, but I do want something with a choir in it. Then I can click on choir and I can see what else is out there that is tagged as choir. And so let's go back to that piece. Let's say I do actually want to use it. And then I can save that MP3. I'm going to put that in my downloads folder. And now I have it. So let's get it into Audacity. So now let me bring Audacity back up. And let's get this music into our project. You can do Command-Shift-I, or you can go and click and import audio. and then I'll find the MP3 that I just downloaded. And we're now going to see that the audio track from above has gotten much smaller. This is the voiceover that I recorded, and here we have the music below. And so what I can then do is maybe select a section that I want and bring it, let's say towards the end of the audio above. So I can do a Command C and Command V of any portion of the music that I'm looking for, and then I can move that around with the time shift tool. So now I've added some music towards the end of the voiceover above, and if I want to get another piece of music in there, let's just select this random bit. I'm going to copy that. Let's get in closer, and let's say I wanted to plop it in the middle. Let's say it was a stinger or something like that we wanted to put in the middle of the audio. I could just select where I want to put it and paste, and it would slot right into that voiceover and shift everything that comes after it to the right. So if we zoom back out, we can see that my voice is now broken up by 2 bits of music from the file that we just imported. Another way we might want to use the music is just to have it playing underneath my voiceover. So let's actually go back and keep these tracks separate and not have the music brought into the voiceover I did, but just have it playing under. And if I play them both at the same time, I'm going to notice that the music's a little bit too loud. So I can actually bring that volume down and adjust accordingly until I get it to a volume that I think works with my voiceover. And this is something that you can do by just playing back and listening, or it's something you can do by actually manipulating the waveform itself with, say, this envelope tool, selecting points where maybe you want the music to be a little quieter, or maybe you want the music to be a little louder at certain points, and you can do that, throughout the track that's playing underneath the voiceover. So then I could start off, quite quiet, as also the voices being brought in to a higher volume from the fade in that I have going on at the beginning here, and then it gets louder towards the middle, and maybe there's points of heightened drama that I want the music to get, either louder or quieter. And so that's 2 ways. You can either bring audio from an imported clip into your main first audio track, or you can leave it and have it playing underneath that other audio track, but just be manipulating the volume with either envelope tool or for the entire track with this volume control here. Now, once you have everything ready to go and you're ready to export your MP3 file, you can go up to File and Export. Now, if you were just to export one selection, say one track, you could do Export Selection, but we want to grab the music that we have in here as well and all the tracks that you might add and bring into the project. So we're going to export everything by doing the export. Pick a place to save it. I'm going to put in this folder here. And then under options, you can see that there's some options to customize here based on the kind of quality of MP3 that we want to export, but we can just leave it at the default settings and save that project. And it's saying, we're going to mix these down to 2 stereo channels, even though you have multiple tracks here. Hit OK if it asks you for any metadata that you want to put into the file. We'll wait for this to export. And then once that's done exporting, I'll show you how to get this into a WordPress post. Now that I've saved my MP3 file, let's open a blank post within WordPress. And it's really quite simple. All you have to do is go to Add Media, upload a file, select that MP3 file that we've just exported, open that, it'll upload, and then here where it says Attachment Display Settings, we want to make sure that we're embedding this into the post. We could just link to the media file or to a page for them to download the MP3 file, but we want to embed it directly into the post itself. So when you click Insert into Post, and then we can click on Preview, we can see that the preview of this post is going to display a media player here, and you can actually play the audio right in the blog. And there you go.